I'm surprised y'all didn't see Dakota just now. Hey, welcome back to another episode or another version or another show, I guess, Commander's Morning Show. Why does it seem so hollow? God damn. My bad, y'all. Anyway, let me get back to it. Welcome to another Washington Commanders Morning Show. Look, before we get things started, I just want to let you all know there was a ton of things that happened at training camp yesterday. A ton of observations. I was there live at practice. We're going to go ahead and get into it, tap into everything that I saw. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, man. The Washington Commanders Morning Show starts right now. Chop it down, chop it down, chop it down, you gon' chop it down. Chop it down, you gon' chop it down. I just appreciate everybody watching.
Watch him throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive, this is Trap or Dive.
Woo! Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Welcome in on this Saturday, beautiful Saturday morning. I know this ain't really the day for everybody to be tapping in this early in the morning on the YouTube channel, but guess what? Your boy Maul is here, man. I'm up early every goddamn day of my life. So look, ain't nothing changed on a Saturday. It's the same old thing. But let me go ahead and get some more things situated before we actually talk a little Washington Commanders, man. Look, there was like I said, there was quite a few nuggets that came out of camp yesterday, and it's definitely worth talking about. I don't know how long we'll be, but we'll definitely talk about quite a few things. But administrative items, as always, let's get those things started. Hold on one second, sorry. This is Wawa coffee, so I gotta drink this as quick as I can before that shit gets cold. But if you are new to the Trap or Dive, man, make sure you are following on Twitch or subscribed on YouTube. You know, it helps the show's growth. It is really appreciated, man. I will open it up, you know, again, like this Saturday, so it's whatever, but I will open it up to you all at some point if you all want to discuss some things, or even if you want to talk about today's camp. If you are going to FedEx Field, you know, talk to me, see what you excited about, what you want to talk about. But I will be opening up the floor to you all if you want to join. The YouTube link or the YouTube link or StreamYard link. I'm so confused. StreamYard link is going to be in the description, so you can check in whenever you want to. Actually, matter of fact, it's open now. Fuck it. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in there right now, and it'll be open throughout the whole show today. And if you want to join, chop it up, talk whatever it is that's on your mind, Commanders, we can get into it. So let me go ahead and put that link in the chat. Where are we at? Boom. Link is right there for everybody that wants to tap in. So yeah, there's that. Okay. So let's get into observations, training camp observations. I'm going to go and do a whole rundown of my Hawks Haven post. Now, if you all saw that, then a lot of these things won't be spoilers, but I guess I'll be able to add more context with a voice behind it. Because so there's a guy, shout out to Rio Robinson on Twitter. When I went to camp yesterday, I had no intention really to film anything, because it's hard. First off, it's already hard to really take notes of every single play, right? But it's even harder to pay attention to what you're doing when you're recording, or pay attention to what's going on when you're recording it. So, but shout out to Rio, because he was able to grab a couple of the plays that I noted in my article. So it's going to help. I'm going to use his channel, and obviously by default, make sure you all go subscribe, man. He does good work with the vlogs and stuff like that. But I'm going to use his video to kind of illustrate or break down what it is that I saw to kind of help us out, and give us those breakdowns in that way. What's going on, Rich? Good morning, man. I'm surprised. Look, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm surprised a couple of y'all are up. I was just gonna run through this thing, you know what I'm saying? Get these observations out the way, get y'all ready for the weekend, get y'all ready for that FedEx Field game if y'all are going. Right? So let me go ahead and make sure. Okay. All right, we good. All right, so let's go ahead and make sure that we get this rundown out the way, and get y'all on y'all way for y'all Saturday morning. Okay, let's get this situated. Boom. And then let's get this situated. And I will share my screen. All right, share my screen. Share screen. Boom, boom, and boom. All right, let's get into it. Remove all this. All right, that should work. And I'll zoom in just a little bit more. All right, so here we go. As you see, poor red zone offense and turnovers highlight offensive woes. Jamin Davis may be taking a back seat to David Mayo, and we'll talk about that right now. We'll go down the list. Inactives, man. Receivers, Curtis Samuel and De'Ami Brown were inactives for full team drills. I noticed that pretty late in the practice. Well, I noticed Curtis Samuel, but I didn't notice De'Ami Brown initially. But Curtis Samuel, I guess that's all a part of their plan, and it's quite interesting that De'Ami was out. I wonder why he was out. I don't even remember a mention of him post-practice of why he was inactive in a sense. So I don't know what the situation is going with De'Ami, but I would imagine it's just rest, because if it was an injury, I'm sure Rivera would have mentioned something. So yeah, they were out. They were off doing individual drills at times, and then other times doing like full team, they were on the sideline. So we don't have to rehash the Curtis Samuel thing. We kind of know what's going on with that. Like, we all have our theories and conspiracies. So that is some observations in terms of sidelines. Now, in terms of end game, Sammis Reyes and Cole Turner got hurt. And it's so wild. The day before, yesterday, meaning Thursday, I put out an article of Cole Turner, man. Happy with what he's doing, pleased and surprised at the same time that he's like providing value this early on, but pleased that he is, surprised that he's doing it to this degree. But also, when you're getting the opportunities that he's getting, and with Logan Thomas and John Bates out, obviously, right? Because I highlighted that part. You know, you're going to get the opportunity. You're going to get a lot of bump with the ones. And he injures his play. He injures his hamstring on the first play of practice. So they were running. Now, first off, they were running a lot of heavy formations. So I guess they were practicing, obviously, run fits and on both sides of the ball. And obviously a lot of good work for the running backs too in that regard. But in this particular play, I think they were running 12 personnel, meaning the one running back set, two tight ends. Rio actually has this on his channel, and we'll get into it. So I'm gonna run down the list just for the sake of talking about it. I'm gonna run down the list of information, and then we'll go to Rio's video so we can talk about exactly what I wrote in this article. So they were running the inside zone, I think, or mid zone, but either way, a zone run. And Cole Turner's responsibility was to climb to the linebacker and seal off the backside linebacker, the pursuing linebacker. And that happened to be, what's his name? Cole Holcomb. And he went up to Cole Holcomb, tried to block him. Cole Holcomb said, "Get the fuck up off me, shouted. This ain't what you want." Threw him to the ground. And at that moment, I saw Cole Turner reaching for his leg. Now, there was it wasn't a report. I think it was an observation, but it was just misinformation. I don't think there was any intent behind it except for, what he saw on that particular play. But there is a report out there that's saying Percy Butler smacked Cole Turner, which he did. We're going to get into that. Matter of fact, it's right there. Percy Butler. So Cole Turner got hurt. 2 plays later, he leaves like after one play, but he comes back 2 plays later. And at that point, let me go ahead and show that. My bad. At that point, he comes back in and gets a catch. And he's in the middle just lollygagging. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think Cole Turner thought the play was over. But the play wasn't over. The coaches said that they were getting tackled to the ground today. And Percy Butler was itching for that moment, and he smacked the shit out of Cole Turner. So I say that to say there may be information out there that's telling you that Percy Butler is the one who injured Cole Turner, but that is not true. Cole Turner got hurt on the first play of practice. But he ended up leaving after the Percy Butler play. He went to the sideline, went to the trainers. He didn't participate in drills after that. Ron Rivera said that he left with a hamstring injury. Initially, he was grabbing his knee, so I thought it was something more serious than that. And I'm glad that I was wrong. And maybe Cole Turner was scared too. So that was probably what we saw on the sideline, at least for me. And then Sammis Reyes got injured. I didn't even know Sammis Reyes got hurt. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's one part that I never noticed until reading the quotes coming out of practice after Rivera and shit. So that's that. So Sammis Reyes, Cole Turner hurt. Tight end room is quickly being depleted. Obviously, we now have 4 tight ends hurt. Logan Thomas is definitely out indefinitely because of the PUP list. John Bates, we don't know when he's going to return. And then Cole Turner and Sammis Reyes hurt their hamstring. We ain't got no goddamn tight ends. We have Curtis Hodges, Amani Rogers. That's it. So that's problematic. Even going into a preseason game, because you don't know what the situation is. The good thing is they have a few days left. So maybe one of Sammis Reyes or Cole Turner comes back. If not both, we'll see. Rivera kind of downplayed it and just said it was a slight hamstring issue. So, that is what it is. William Jackson, probably dealing with a hamstring. Rivera didn't dive too much into it. He seemed to not know. He just said, well, if he had an ice pack on, it's probably a hamstring. So that's based on his prior experience. So I guess we'll just leave it at that. I don't know if he knows how serious it is or not, but based on his response, I don't think he has a detailed knowledge on William Jackson's injury. Troy Apke, side field. All right, so situational defense. This one was interesting, and it riled up a lot of people, at least it riled up a lot of people on Twitter and Hawks Haven. We know what we did with Jamin Davis, right? And we know that Jamin Davis was the first round pick. We know that we tried to force him at middle linebacker. And then on top of that, just a first round pick that's playing linebacker. So when you get your first round picks that is taking a back seat to David Mayo, and there's no disrespect to David Mayo, is more about Jamin Davis not being able to execute and run fits and run situations. So for context, a lot of people, when you see Davis taking a backseat to David Mayo, you got to understand that this is all situational football. Like in run defense and run situations where it's like maybe first down heavy personnel, like 2 tight ends or maybe 3 tight ends or maybe an extra lineman, you're going to bring out that single defense, that 5-man defense with two linebackers. And shout out to myself, my dumb ass. I put on Twitter, I noticed that they was running a 5-2-4 defense, or 5-2-5 defense, not knowing I put 12 men on the field. I'm surprised nobody called it out until 10 o'clock at night last night. But back to the whole point. David Mayo ran with the starters. He started. It wasn't like Jamin Davis got benched or anything. It wasn't like Davis had any reps with the ones in this situation. He started, meaning Mayo, with the ones. So the coaches are trying to carve out a role, or not even trying to. I think they've identified a role for David Mayo. And I think what is kind of confusing the fan base and maybe even the media to an extent, it's not necessarily that, they think that Davis is actually Davis isn't a better run fit guy than Mayo. It's the fact that we are seeing it late, or maybe we are seeing it in training camp. In reality, Mayo was doing this last year too. He was on the field in run situations. Now, I don't think he would have got on the field if Bostic was hurt. I mean, if Bostic wasn't hurt, but in that same vein, they got a lot of reps and they got a lot of live situational football exposures on David Mayo. So I think what Washington fans and Washington media are seeing from our perspective is that this is probably their first exposure to practice and seeing that David Mayo actually is getting these looks and run fits. So again, I think they've already carved out a role for David Mayo, and I think that's the reason why they brought him back. I think that if you have a guy who is better than Jamin Davis in run fits, that's one thing. But you also have to take into account, like, that's all fine and dandy, but you know your first round pick ain't really the best in run fits. Now, what's going to be important for us to kind of take into account. Now, I think it's also, too, if you all want to look at like the Jamin Davis mini, in a literal sense, mini film breakdown, look at the last morning show. I think towards the middle of the episode or middle of the show, I kind of showed you like the pro and the con of Jamin Davis, and the con was literally staying disciplined and true to his run fits. He got moved pretty easily a couple times in his run fits, and he also struggles to take on blockers on certain angles and certain routes. I mean, I say certain routes, certain angles and certain pursue angles and stuff like that. So he has to kind of get more physical, taking on those second level climbers, those offensive linemen who's already reached the second level and trying to seal off the edge or something like that for their running back. So for Jamin Davis, I kind of understand where they're coming from, but it also is a situation where you gotta believe that Davis can develop in this aspect. If you can believe that he can be more physical and create that distance between him and Mayo, ultimately create that distance between him and Mayo, then maybe you can have Mayo at a full reserve position and have Davis ultimately take over. So that's the hope. You know, you'll kind of see where that comes from eventually, but you know, we don't know. I know why it's quiet. And I keep forgetting this. I know why it's quiet. I need this music in my ear. There we go. That's why it's so hollow in here. I keep forgetting this, man. I love having some type of stimulation like this. I don't know about y'all, but the mental stimulation for me is music. Something that soothes my ears. I always forget this sometimes, like to start this thing up as soon as the show starts. So let me go ahead and turn this up a little bit more too. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back to where Jamin Davis actually was. Jamin and Khaleke Hudson. Let me scroll down a little bit because I know y'all can't see that. There we go. My bad, y'all. Jamin Davis and Khaleke Hudson actually led the second team defense at linebacker in the short yardage situations. Now on this one, I have to make a correction because remember when I said about Rio, and he's gonna get a lot of credit because he has the video. I didn't record. I didn't have any intentional recording, but I was able to see this play. They showed this play that I was talking about in here to Samus Reyes. It wasn't on this particular drill, but Jamin Davis and Khaleke Hudson led the second team defense at linebacker in short yardage situation. So on that 5-2 heavy personnel matchup situation, it was Jamin and Khaleke. But on this particular play, it was Khaleke and what's his name? It's a guy that I haven't really known, but Milo Alfer, linebacker, first year out of Illinois, so maybe 1 year experience, so he's into his second year. And then we have Percy Butler, who was a deep third safety. So I can break this one down because it's going to be easier, and we'll see it again when we get to the film side. They were running a cover one situation, and again, in heavy personnel doesn't necessarily mean that you're running football, right? And I think what happened for these guys is that they literally, I mean, they got sucked into the point that Sammy Reyes was running butt naked. He was wide open. And so what happened is, cover one situation, meaning, you know, you have all man responsibilities in certain situations and you have a single high deep. Percy Butler bit on the run fake and he just ran down, crashed the box. So he's automatically giving up anything over the top of him because of, what happened. But instead, let me slow it down. So anything that got behind him would have won. He does have the speed to kind of make up anything, but in the same vein, if you had a fast tight end like a Evan Ingram or some shit like that, think about week 1. He gets over top, it's probably a wrap. But when Percy Butler runs down and bites on the run, he ultimately takes up Alfred's man. So he takes Alfred's man on a crosser. Alfred doesn't know what to do. So he's just running with Percy. And so it's two people covering one tight end. And then you have Sammis Reyes who leaks out, and Khalid Hudson completely leaves his man open. Like, he doesn't even account for him. So he just goes upfield in a cover 1 situation. Remember, it's always man on man. You have the deep safety over top. So there's 2 errors that we're talking about. We're talking about Percy Butler coming down in a single high situation where he should be still over top of that tight end, because Alfred was correct in taking his man when he went up the field. That was good. But if he was still over the top, he would have been able to account for Sammis Reyes, who leaked out and was not covered at all. So what happens is you have that miscommunication happen, and it would have been a 50-yard touchdown. Really, he went down the field untouched and uncovered. So we're gonna get into that because Rio covered that one. So shout out to him. Not many one-on-ones covered in the video, but I made sure, and this was my emphasis, I came over here with to get an idea of how that defensive line was going to look. If you're going to ask me about Carson Wentz or a ton of receiver work, I wouldn't be able to give you that information. I wasn't your guy. I came in here for that trench work. I came in for the trench work. So that wasn't my goal heading into training camp yesterday. Though I will say, Dax Milne, boy, he put that man Kendall Fuller on skates on one route, and that's something I ain't see coming. He put that man Kendall Fuller on skates, and guess what? Rio covered that shit. So yeah, we're gonna show that one. But let's go ahead back to the pass rush drills. For Darren Matthews, man, my boy, big field, man. He had a productive day in one-on-ones and two-on-twos. Like, power has always been his thing, and like he has this powerful club move and swim moves. Not a powerful swim move, but I'm saying powerful club move. And then he has a quick spin move that sometimes doesn't go accounted for. And people don't take into account that he has sneaky quickness, initial quickness. When I talk about being able to move laterally or get around the offensive lineman, that's something that a lot of people don't take into account with for Darren Matthews. So I'm really happy to kind of see that when I showed up, at least that absolutely, it's the morning show of the morning shows. What's going on, Hawk? How you feeling, man? So listen, everybody, if you are just checking in, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button. This is the Washington Commanders morning show. Look, I'm opening up the floor to anybody and everybody. For those who are just checking in, if you all want to talk anything Commanders on your mind, it's an open flow. I'm just going through my notes from training camp. I was there yesterday. We're talking about every single thing that I saw, going down the list, and then we're gonna show a YouTube video of somebody else who was there at camp, because I sure as hell didn't record anything. I had no intention to record anything, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about that and show it as well. So for Darren Matthews, man, back to him. Power. I loved what he did at the point of attack. He had good pad level and good leg drive, which was able to threaten the offensive guards. He had 3 sacks in these one-on-one drills, and 2-on-2 drills, pass rush drills, because it was 2-on-2 and one-on-ones. So Darian had a really productive day in his pass rush drills, man. The coaches were happy for him. I heard him. Like, I missed one particular rep where he did get the sack, but I heard the coaches, and that's how I was able to credit him for one of the 3 that I didn't see. So I love what he did yesterday, man. Again, the guard wasn't able to anchor down and adjust to his power. He also performed in 2-on-2s with a stunt game with another defensive lineman. Still don't know who it was, but he was able to collapse the pocket coming off the stunt. Like, the offensive lineman was able to pick it up, but they wasn't able to stop him from creating pressure to the quarterback. So, end of the day, very good day in pass rush situations for Darren Matthews, especially when they were exposed in the one-on-one situations. Sam Cosmi and Montez Sweat, I loved what happened after these reps, but Sam Cosmi struggled on a particular speed rush rep from Montez Sweat. If you all want to understand in detail Cosmi's game, we broke that down. With Mark Bullock a week or two ago, so you can kind of understand where he is, at least heading into training camp. But I broke it down what I saw on this one. You know, Montez is one with a pure speed rush off the edge. He didn't really try to, get into Cosmi's chest or anything. He really just tried to blow past him, and he was successful. Cosmi was just a second too slow in terms of reaching his set point. And it's always like, set point is like, it depends on what pass rush or pass set you're taking. Are you taking a 45 angle? Are you taking a jump angle? A jump set is more aggressive, where you're attacking the defensive lineman. 45 is you're trying to meet him to a spot. Vertical is like a depth where you're actually going back towards the quarterback and things like that. So there's three particular pass sets that you can take. And I think Cosmi tried to take a 45-degree angle, but he was just too slow in terms of his feet work, trying to reach that set point, and Sweat was able to blow past them. But again, to this point, it didn't end after that. Like, they had an extended conversation after these drills were over, and Cosmi and Sweat was able to kind of converse about a lessons learned conversation. Like, Sweat was breaking down some things that kind of helped Cosmi pick up on some game. And that's as productive as you can get for a guy like Cosmi, who needs all the help in terms of pass rush. Like Brandon Sheriff, we talk about it. Brandon Sheriff ain't here no more, right? And on top of that, the offensive line is in flux. Like, there's not, at least now, there's not too many people that you can really rely on from a veteran presence that's actually really good and has a resume in that regard, because they're like Andrew Norwell, Trey Turner, Charles Leno, they're in and out of the lineup. So you're not going to be able to see on a down and down out basis the help that you can get from these guys. So Sweat being able to break down to Cosmi, how to get better in certain situations after that drill was over, in certain rush plans, that was really good to see. It was really positive. So that's that. Here we go. Special teams. Dax Milne, I think, is carving out a spot on the roster. And, we're trying to figure out who that back end of the receiver depth chart is going to be. You have, I'm going to go through the top. Matter of fact, let me look at the roster. It's right here. Let me go to receivers. All right, so you have Cam Sims, Curtis Samuel, Dax Milne, Markin Mitchell, Terry McLaurin, Kyrie McGowan, Kelvin Harmon, Jaquez Ezzard, Alex Harrison, Jahan Dotson, De'Ami Brown. We know that Jahan is going to be one. We know that De'Ami Brown is going to be one. We know that Curtis Samuel is going to be one. Did I just fuck up? De'Ami, Jahan, Curtis, Terry McLaurin. These are your four. Now you have to worry about Cam Sims. You have to worry about Dax Milne, Marcus Mitchell, Kyrick, Kelvin, Alex, Jaquez. The issue, we have four already identified, and there's all, like, the rest of these guys are names. Like, we know about Cam Sims, and respect to Cam Sims. Like, if you all know me, you know that Cam Sims is my guy. So, like, I'm just being objective in that, knowing what they did to Cam last year, and they limited his opportunities offensively. They used him primarily on special teams. But now they don't have a returner. Like, DeAndre Carter's gone. So he's in the mix. Cam is, and he only signed a 1 year or 2 year deal. Like, he's in the mix in terms of competing for that back end of the roster. They don't have to bring in a 6'5" wide receiver. Like, they have a basketball team at tight end. Like, they have all 6'5" and up guys. So they don't have to rely on Cam Sims if they don't want to, bro. And that's frustrating, but it's the truth as well. That's kind of where we are. And I go back to Dax Milne. Dax Milne has been returning punts. He's been the primary kick returner for Washington to this point. So what you're going to see in preseason, in these 3 preseason games, you're going to see Dax. Not even say 3. I'm going to say what you're going to see in the first preseason game this upcoming Saturday is getting a lot of Dax Milne on punt returns probably, but definitely kick returns. He is their number 1 in kick returns. So if Dax Milne can carve out a role on special teams in terms of being an effective return man, you're eliminating damn near half of the other options because Dax Milne is their draft pick. So if you have a draft pick that's as effective as Dax Milne, in terms of special teams, you don't have to worry about a Markin Mitchell. You don't have to worry about a Kyrie. You don't have to worry about a Kelvin. You don't have to worry about a Jaquez Ezzard, Alex Erickson. You don't have to worry about none of these guys. And obviously Dax would fill the 5th spot. And if they want to keep 6, it comes down to the other people as well. Odds are they're going to keep Dax. Like, that's not an issue. But now you have to worry about the practice squad and all these other things like that. So who's going to be your guy? For me, I'm going to say Cam Sims does make the roster. And I think it's going to be Dax Milne as that 6th guy for special teams. Unless Ezzard, who I think runs a 4-3, if he shows that he has playmaking ability on special teams and he's hard to like not keep on the roster, then maybe things get shook up. And maybe Dax Milne stays, but Jaquez Ezzard is the return man. Like, you never know which route they're going to go until you see what that preseason looks like. Because it's going to come down to 5 and 6. 5th spot, 6th spot. Who's going to take over? So I don't know. But what do you all think about special teams? Are y'all... There was a lot of people who really didn't like the idea of Dax Milne being a return man. Like, I don't know what that means. I don't know if they perceive him as an unathletic guy. Again, we're going to get into the part where he dotted that boy Kendall Fuller up in practice on one particular play, but he dotted that man up. So I don't know if you all think that he's not athletic or something like that. Look, if you're playing receiver, you got something going on for you, right? But what do you all think about that 5th and 6th spot for a receiver? You all let me know and talk to me about that one. Okay, Kyrie Mcgowan, like I spoke about him briefly, but you see Kyrie Mcgowan, he was actually he was the first person out there. I didn't even know who he was. Like I don't have the number list, so I was a little off base with some of these guys, but he was out there fielding punts from the staff who was helping him, just, with the little ball, getting the little ball machine that goes up, shoots up in the air or whatever. He was out there first person fielding them Jones. He fielded them for like 30 minutes before practice started, and he fielded them the entire time. But he had one muff and one bobble during practice where the coaches actually are evaluating. He had 3 that I saw. One was clean, the other 2 weren't. So for McGowan, who clearly is, he's a rookie, but they're giving him some opportunities to show something. So we got 2 that came in. As long as he's dynamic, I'm all right. And then D and KC, man, what's going on, big dog? He said Cam Sims is a lock at 5th. Is a lock. What you doing? You betting the house on that one? Talk to me. You betting the house? Or you putting a little change on that bet? Okay. Other returners were Dax Milne. Obviously, we talked about him. He was doing punt return and kick return. And then Jahan Dotson, Alec Erickson. I didn't even mention Ezzard. So that's again, he wasn't out there. Like, I listed some numbers off in my head and took those notes. So I came back and saw that Ezzard wasn't up there. It was just these guys. So that's something. Jared Patterson, again, when we talk about finding opportunities for special teams and trying to make a way on your roster, because that running back crowd is full, right? He said, I need my wideouts like Jordy, Cooper, Wes, Danny, or Wayne Corbett. Hey, Wayne Corbett was a dog, bro. And I don't know how he did it. Man came out there with no swag, bro. He ain't had no gloves on. Like, he ain't do nothing special except for make all these acrobatic ass catches. And you like, how the fuck is he doing that? But yeah, man, if Dax can, I can't wait to show y'all this clip. Cause Dax, now it may sound like I'm slicing it, but I'm just telling you what I saw. But anyway, Jared Patterson, he's on special teams too, and he's trying to get in where he fits in, man. So he saw reps as the jammer on the punt return unit. I actually had to Google that because I only know about gunners and that's it. I really don't know special team positions, and that's crazy. But he was the jammer on punt return unit. So it's good to see that he's trying to find a role and make a way on this defense or on this return team and even outside of offense. So that's interesting. And it's a good way to show you some versatility to earn a roster spot. Offensive woes, let's get into it before we close out on the article and my notes. Antonio Gibson did have a rough day. 2 fumbles. One was definitely a bobble, but I don't know if he fully secured it. It was hard to see from my angle, so I was relying on reports on the red zone fumble, but it was a bobble, and it looked like it was a bobble at the handoff, and he just never fully secured it, or it sounds like it. So at the end of the day, 2 fumbles, credit to either him or the quarterback, but definitely a mix-up in that situation. So he said we gave up punt blocks last year. Ooh, you know what's funny? I forgot about that. Was it, how many was it? I thought it was just, I didn't even know. I gotta look that up. But anyway, Antonio Gibson, 2 fumbles. Whether it's him or the quarterback, 2 fumbles. You don't want that. 3 total. I think 3 total turnovers on the day. I know Sam Howell had a red zone interception. And yeah, so Antonio Gibson, 2 fumbles. That wasn't that good. And then also in the past years, I think it was 7 on 7, if not 9 on 9. Look, he had opportunities as a pass catcher there, and he did 50-50 job creating separation in his route and winning his one-on-one matchup, but he drops the pass. So having like 3 mistakes in that regard, or having your name attached to 3 mistakes, because we don't know who really was at fault with the fumbles, but having 3 mistakes attached to your name, 1 definitely being your fault in the drop, because you can't drop that. That's not necessarily that good. My mind. Can't forget the other melanated receivers like Joe Jurevicius and Ed McCaffrey. Those dogs. What's going on, big man? How you feeling? Are you going to FedEx at all today? But yeah, I think the guy, what's his name? Antonio Gibson, rough day. And I actually think that this was one of his first practices, like first full practices back since returning from, his injury. So for that to be your first outing, when you have a guy like Brian Robinson who was taking those first reps, like he's first in line for everything that the running backs are doing while you were gone. And on top of that, Brian Robinson had an effective day on Friday. It's going to give perception that, there's a guy coming for your spot. And I told you all, look, you don't have to necessarily have Brian, like in order for Washington's offense to be successful, I envision Brian Robinson like splitting the carries between Antonio Gibson and himself. If you have, for example, last year Antonio Gibson had like 240 carries, the next back behind Antonio Gibson to have carries was like 60 something. 60. And if Brian Robinson is showing out in practice, I think Carolina is going to be a good indication to see how important he can be to this offense. Understand that. And if he is a guy who is as effective as I think he can be, based on what I saw in the film, based on how he identifies run gaps, how he can manipulate blockers and his balance, and obviously ball carrying is important too, ball security. If he's able to continue this on throughout training camp and preseason, you're going to see a guy who snatches carries from Antonio Gibson. And that's going to be a guy who has, like, for example, you're going to see like 100 instead of 240 carries from Antonio Gibson. You're going to see Antonio Gibson with, like, this is me making up numbers, so don't take the exact numbers for preciseness or accuracy, but you're going to see a guy like 120 carries for Antonio Gibson. You'll see like 110 for Brian Robinson. That's what you're going to see if Brian Robinson continues to showcase his reliability, his understanding of run fits, his understanding of blocking, his vision. If you see that, then that's important. Okay, there you go. On the way. That's good, bro. That's good. That's good. Yes, you are gonna be there. That's good, bro. Yes, they're having practice at FedEx Field, and yes, it is free. The practice is free. I don't know what the ticket situation is looking like. I gave away my tickets yesterday. I won't be able to be there. I got a friend who is going away for grad school, so they're having a party to, you know, a send-off party this afternoon, so I won't be there anymore. I mean, I was gonna get drunk either way. I was getting drunk at FedEx Field, or I was getting drunk at the party. So I really wasn't even, I wasn't even about to take no notes at that FedEx Field party. I just came there for the drinks, baby. I just came there for the drinks. But only to your point, Hawk, if they're free, I would say check up on Washington Commanders website or something to see if there's any tickets left. Oh, you know what, Hawk, if you need some tickets, I may know a guy, because I forgot that he responded to my tweet and said that he had 2 extra tickets. So Hawk, if you need them, DM me on Twitter, DM me with your name and your email, your full name and your email, and maybe he still has them. So where is my Twitter handle? I'm gonna put my Twitter handle in the chat. Hold on one second. So that way, let me give how do I do that? All right, here we go. Okay. That's my Twitter account. So DM me. If he still has them, I'll be sure to give him your information, and go from there. So hopefully he still got them. All right, where we at? We talked about Brian Robinson. We talked about Antonio Gibson. Sam Howell, simple, threw a red zone interception. I wasn't able to see it because of where I was seated. I wasn't really tripping off that, but I know he threw an interception. And then the offense had several losses against the defense in red zone situations. From what I understood from other people, they went 1 for 8. 1 for 8, and that wasn't, I mean, clearly that wasn't good. But on the other side, the flip side, you know, a lot of people, you know what's frustrating sometimes? People always feel like, even in training camp, at practices, the team always really, or the fans always really root for the offense to, you know, to have success. Like, they want to see that explosiveness. They want to see bombs away on every play. But you got to understand too, the defense got to make plays, and the defense won the day yesterday. You are holding out the offense up until their 4th down calls to really get in the end zone and things like that. And multiple times I've seen Carson Wentz throw it away in red zone situations. Taylor Heineke was the one who was a little bit more aggressive, trying to fit the ball in the end zone, which is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to give these guys chances. Carson was actually holding to the ball a little bit longer than he should. But in red zone situations, Taylor was trying to get these guys shots, and it wasn't really working. There wasn't really anything that from a run standpoint that let me go ahead back. That's his new name, Maul the Man. Maul the Man on Trap or Dive. Hey man, Coach Maul, Henny Maul. Either one. But when you're talking about defensive situations, you gotta understand these guys make plays too, baby. These guys make plays too. So get some credit to the defense and understanding, you know, how they did things on their side too. So definitely get some kudos to these guys. For me, I'm gonna do that. Holding these guys for 1 for 8. Again, I wasn't able to see Carson Wentz full day because my eyes were locked in the trenches. So it would be irresponsible for me to say without a shadow of a doubt that Carson Wentz had a bad day or that the quarterbacks had a bad day. I will say that people who were there focusing on the offense, like actual reporters, and trying to take their notes, that Carson Wentz was inconsistent again. So that's all I will say in terms of how the starting quarterback looked, is that people have said, not me, people have said that he was inconsistent. So you can take that for what it's worth. I don't care what you do, take it for what it's worth. Mr. Magic Molly Mall. All right, so let's get into the video. And so we done went through all the notes, right? Let's go again to the video. Again, this is provided by Rio Robinson. The video itself will kind of showcase all of the notes that I've kind of talked about, and you'll be able to actually envision, you know, what I said and what was shown. Before we do that, Hawk asked the question, and I haven't forgot. I think, let me go to the original jump. My bad. Bringing in D forward. Richard Molly, this is the first question that was asked. I didn't forget. Just wanted to get through our notes. He said, D forward, what are your thoughts on bringing in D forward? Honestly, these guys do need a veteran presence. I'm not gonna lie to you. The issue is Ron Rivera is very comfortable with the fact that he believes that the defensive linemen, the backups, Casey Toohill, who actually made a really good play in red zone drills. He made a tackle in the backfield for a loss, like 2 yards in the backfield in red zone, in goal line. I keep saying red zone, in goal line situation. So this is at the 1 or 2 yard line, and he's getting tackles in the backfield. But he believes in, Rivera does, Daniel Wise, Casey Toohill, Shaka Toney, and James Smith Williams, F.A. Obata, William Bradley King. He believes in these guys, and he's very content, so it seems, with his approach that he was going to let these young guys go through their bumps and bruises as inexperienced players in 2021, and move forward that way. My opinion, these guys need help as pass rushers. So I actually didn't know how they felt about D Ford when you asked this question. I don't know how they feel about D Ford, but if they can bring in situational pass rushers to at least help when Chase Young gets back, think about how effective that'll be. So the idea of bringing in the D Ford actually is intriguing to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't think about it until you asked that question. But the idea of bringing in D Ford is going to help, because these guys were struggling as pass rushers all together from a collective standpoint. The only person that was really bringing in pressure. Oh, speaking of pressure, I have a I'm gonna say it's a highlight tape, but it's showing the all 22 version of Chase Young and his pressures last year. I was able to, thankfully he didn't play a full season, like from a workload standpoint. But I have a film session on Chase Young coming out on Thursday that's going to showcase his best pass rushes of 2021. Bringing in best pressures, because we all know he only had 1.5 sacks. But it's going to be good. It's a 3-minute clip showing how effective he was and some of the things that he does well. I'm not doing any audio on it. Like, I'm not breaking anything down. It's just all tape. It's all tape. That's all it is. But yes, back to the defensive line as a collective. Yeah, man, D Ford would make sense for especially a unit that struggled to create pressure. He's a veteran. He understands what his specialty is. He wins with speed. He can get off the line with a very good burst, man. His get off is going to be very quick, and I think that's something that these guys are lacking. You could put this man in on pass rush situations. Situationally, put him in on third down, man. Have him align opposite of Chase Montez Sweat. And then when Chase Young ultimately gets back, still use him. You put Chase Young in as a 3-tech. Like, it's not uncommon grounds for these guys. Like, they have lined up Montez Sweat and Chase Young on the same side, so you can do things like that. I'm all in on D Ford. I don't know how the hell did you talk me into that. How the hell did you talk me into that? Okay, yeah, Hawk is all in. We're bringing D Ford in too. Okay, so here we go. Anthony Barr choosing the Cowboys over Washington. That's an interesting question as well, because Rivera again publicly stated in his pressures, hey man, I'm going to give these guys some time, meaning the linebacker group, before I decide on bringing in anybody. So it was interesting to see, because we all knew, if y'all listened, if y'all was on the channel, you knew that our guy AJ said that it was Dallas or Washington. Like, he knows Anthony, and he was saying it came down to Dallas or Washington at one point. Those are the two people that was contacting him. Ultimately, a third team did get involved, and I think it was the Denver Broncos. So when he actually signed with Dallas, it came down to Dallas and I think the Denver Broncos, and Washington probably stopped contacting him for a minute because they were evaluating their linebackers. They waited a long time. So when I say the question was interesting, it's more so like Washington tapped out for a quick second. They wanted to see what their linebacking core was going to look like. So they waited a long time. They waited too late, clearly. I don't know. I would have liked to see it and just see how they felt about having that speed and having a guy who can rush the passer, but also move sideline to sideline with some decent speed. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, they got ate up. So let's go ahead and get into the film or the clips. I'm going to share it right now and we'll go through it. All right, hold on, give me 2 seconds. All right, let me make sure. Again, let me actually, all right, here we go. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Share the screen. No, we ain't sharing the entire screen. We're going to share a tab. Where is it at? All right, there we go. Let me make sure it's showing. Should I full screen this? Does it work? Okay. OG, I hope Jack Sanborn doesn't make it in Chicago. Hey, give me hip to Jack Sanborn. I don't know who he is. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right, let's get into it. Again, this is through Rio Robinson. Let me see if I can, just for the sake, I am using his video. Make sure you all, here you go. Here's the link to the video. Credit to him. There you go. That's the video right there. Let me go ahead and get to the clips, some of the clips that I was talking about. So Cole Turner's first play is the one he's going to show it. This is where he got hurt. And you see Santana Moss and London Fletcher. These guys running routes. My boy David Harrison, Locked On Washington, Locked On Commanders, Sports Illustrated. All right, here we go. So let me see if I can zoom in if that helps too. Oh, it doesn't. Damn, that didn't work. All right, so here we go. This is where Cole Turner got hurt. He went up against Cole Holcomb on a backside zone run, and I'll show it. There you go. Let me go ahead and rewind it one more time. So Cole Turner is the furthest tight end. So he's right. Oh, yeah, there you go. He's right here. There you go. Cole Turner, he's going to climb up backside zone. He's going to attack Cole Holcomb, which is right here. And then there you go. And so Cole gets thrown to the ground. And now he's all right there, still on the ground. OG there, yeah, right there on the ground, laboring a little bit, so he was a little late getting up off the floor. This is the Brian Robinson run, I believe. Yeah, there you go. Took off. That was like a gain of 15, 20, something like that. Looked like a duo run, but you saw again. I say he had an effective day, man. It was easy for him. Easy for that guy. Straight up the middle. And think about it, like, of course contact isn't too much with your teammates, but they're bringing people to the ground on today. Like, they were hitting. So that's that. Let's see what else we got. Oh, false start. I ain't worried about that one. Which one was this? I'm gonna show y'all. If y'all remember, I talked about Dax Milne. I'm gonna show y'all what Dax Milne did. And you see Montez Sweat hustling. Look at that 4-4 speed, bruh. That man screwing. That man screwing. Alright. We're gonna keep going. Stuffed in the backfield. Let me see if I can find some more. Remember, these are heavy packages too, by the way. Like, this is all like run situations and things like that. I think this is a Terry McLaurin play. Corn Elder was on Terry McLaurin. I watched the compilation of Wentz left-handed throws. They said that joint was like 2 minutes, wasn't it? That's funny as hell. Terry smoked this guy too. Terry smoked that, man. Let's keep going. I don't want to skip over some of the things that I wanted to show. Oh, look at your boy. Look at your boy. Hold on. Look at your boy right there. With the dreadlocks. Y'all know who that is. Y'all know who that is. Oh, but I think this is the Dax Milne play. Oh, no, I know it ain't. Oh, this is the fumble. That was the fumble. That was one of the fumbles from AG. Right here. That was one of the fumbles. He had another fumble in the end zone, in the red zone. Here's the so here, let me pause it. This is the Dax Milne play. Kendall Fuller up against Dax Milne. You're gonna see Dax Milne take an inside release, completely spins Kendall Fuller out because he's taking a he's going back outside on the out route. You'll see it. Okay, Dax. Ain't nobody talking about that, but I saw it. And you watching it here, you saw it. You saw it. Let me go ahead back. Let me go ahead and give Dax Milne a little credit up against Kendall Fuller. I'm gonna run it one more time. Well, that's like 3 yards of separation. That's like 3 yards, boy. Clean. He ain't even get touched. He ain't even get touched. Okay. Let me check in right quick. Let me check in. How's the secondary on our team? We can pull up. We can make a call up to Baltimore and get a plethora of safeties and corners. You know what's funny? One of the next clips I'm gonna show you. So Percy Butler. I know there was a lot of talk about Percy Butler. He had one play noticeable. They said he had a good practice today, but I am who I am, and it wouldn't be like you can hear everything that you want to hear about, you know, these camp reports and things like that. But, you know, sometimes people overlook some things, and maybe sometimes people don't even know what they're seeing. So I'm not disrespecting anybody. I'm just saying sometimes you have to take into account everything that you see in camp and sometimes what you see in practice. So remember we talked about that 5-2 defense, and I told you that I thought it was Jamin Davis and I thought it was Khalid Hudson in on the defense, where Sammis Reyes got free down the sideline with would have been a 50-yard touchdown. I'm going to go ahead and get into that, and it's coming up soon. All right, so here we go. Here we go. This is it. This is it right here. So I'm going to help you out. Percy, deep man. Khalid Hudson, right here. And then what's the other dude? I forgot his name. I said it already and I forgot it. But the dude out of Illinois, right here. So Percy, deep man. They're in a cover one. Remember this. This is all man, and Percy Butler is the deep man. So here we go. Here we go right here. All right. Boom. I'm going to just let it play and we'll run it back. That'll probably be easier. Culture made it here, boy. All right. So what did you see? Let's go ahead and run it back. Percy Butler, deep man, cover one. You ain't supposed to be getting beat. So what happens is at the snap, play action fake. again, remember, I think this entire defense, the second team defense, probably bit on the fact that they're thinking this is all run fits, this is all run plays, so they bit hard on the play action. So, and I said it was 30. I thought it was the let's see, I thought it was the linebacker who took his guy, but it wasn't. It was 36. So Percy jumped. He's already in the box. He just takes 36's man. So 36 and Percy Butler 35 is on the receiver. And let's rewind back. Remember, cover one, he's supposed to be deep. So Samus hits a block and release. It's going to be hard to kind of see it, but he's blocking release on the far side of the screen. So he's blocking release and his linebacker left him. But you'll see, there you go. You see him running back, right? This is his man that's running back and is like, oh shit, I left Samus Reyes wide open. It's a PA boot. I need to get back and find my man. Samus Reyes already wide open. So there's two elements of this play, and he has a blocker downfield. So there's two elements of this play where people fucked up. One, Percy Butler. Two, Khalid Hudson lost their man in coverage. This is about run fits, but it's also like, hey, look, it's not always going to be a run game or a run play. You need to be very responsible and understand your assignments. So this is what you saw. Percy Butler giving up a big play on coverage, and at the same time, Khalid Hudson giving up a big play on coverage. Or 47, whoever the hell that is. That's the dude I'll be talking about. So I wanted to make sure that you all saw that side too and understand that it was multiple issues. And if people are telling you Percy Butler had a good camp or had a good day, understand that it was mixed. Like, that's a big play. You're giving up a big play in that instance. You're giving up a big play on that instance. How was the ride? It was smooth, man. You know, I'm like an hour away. I use Easy Pass. I ain't gonna lie to you. I used to go to Philly a lot, and when I used to cover the team too, I used to cover the Skins. I was actually reporting at training camp and mini camps and things like that. So I bought an Easy Pass during the period that I was actually covering the team, just to make the ride smoother. So for me, the ride was smooth. And that was that. I know you asked about the secondary too, Hawk. I think the secondary, the starting unit, they make the most plays, but it kind of gets dicey after the fact. And we have to see a little bit more in preseason to understand that side. But the starting unit is fine. I think William Jackson is actually playing a little bit better. He's a little bit more comfortable, from what I understand, and people that I trust. Again, that's my opinion. I only went out there for one practice. It's hard to really be out there. I ain't gonna lie to you all when I'm not able to cover the team like I want to anymore. I'm working on that to try and get access again. Fingers crossed that shit works out for all of us, because if I'm able to cover the team more, we'll get more access on our channel, and we'll be able to provide information on my channel. So we'll see. But to answer your question, because I know you asked about the secondary, I can only go mainly off of reports from people that I trust versus talking about one particular day. This is funny. Can you make a schedule of topics? So yeah, typically I do it in the beginning of the show. Like I give a rundown of what we're going to talk about. So that's kind of what that was. And yeah, it's fine. Look, you don't have to come in here. You don't have to come in here and be on topic. Ask what you want to ask. You know what I'm saying? We can always pop in and answer a question or two. It ain't no big deal. So yeah, whatever you want to know. He said my 2-year-old walks around with a football every year. I hope this will prevent him from fumbling later in life. First off, if he's walking around with a football, I ain't giving you no parenting tips, but get that man in some flag football as soon as he ready, because clearly he love it. If he carrying a football at 2 years old, you got a star in the making, bro. You got a fucking star in the making, and congratulations to you. I know I just met you. I just met most of you all, but congratulations on your 2-year-old, man. I hope little man is at least at least making your days bright, you know what I'm saying, when you had those down days and stuff like that. So congratulations to you. And then Hawk, can't stand that 5-2 defense. If the pass rush ain't strong, we'll get beat more often than not. So there's a lot of benefits to the 5-2 defense. Even 5-1-5. So 5-2, if you got the 5-2, that's a heavy front. 5-1-5 is more of a nickel, because you have 5 DBs out there. 5-2-4 is more of the heavy front defense. you have a lot more people in the box. I believe 7 in the box. And even 5-1-5, you can kind of have that Buffalo nickel guy in the box as well, which would be Cam Curl. He'll kind of fit in for that linebacker, quote unquote, or you may have a true nickel in Benjamin St. Juste closer to the line of scrimmage. But I actually had something else cooking for this channel, and fingers crossed we get the interview out the way. I mean, we get the interview agreed upon, but I'm gonna have a guy in here that kind of helps us further educate ourselves on what the benefits are for that 5-man front, that 5-man defense, because a lot of us, we understand that they use it a lot, but what does it mean for a defense that uses it a lot? What can they do out of it? What are the pros? What are the cons? And I'm hoping that we're able to get him on. I don't think that'll be live stream, because I want to make sure that we maximize. Well, maybe live stream. I don't know. We'll see. If he could do a morning show, perfectly fine. He's making Samus Reyes look good. That's funny as hell. Baby AG Anthony Gonzalez. Do you mean Tony Gonzalez? What the hell? Oh, my bad. Let me go back to it. I know I was talking to y'all for a second. Hey, my man Tony checked in, bro. What's going on, big dog? What up, though? But yeah, let's get back to this training camp stuff. I think we're going to get to the red zone soon. Tony, we was just talking about, I was up there at training camp yesterday, going through my news and my observations and stuff like that. But Rio, I got Rio he had good video. I didn't put no video out, so we're just using this as a guideline to kind of break down what I went through. So here we go with the red zone. I'm gonna let this flow, because so y'all saw where I was seated. I'm all the way to the right. I'm all the way over here. So I didn't have access to see everything that was going on. So I'll just let this flow and we'll get through that. There was, like I said, the offense went like 1 for 8. They didn't really score that many touchdowns. They had several opportunities. They didn't really get in the end zone at all. So you saw a lot of throwaways. I knew that much. We talked about that early on. Saw a lot of throwaways. Taylor Heineke was really the one who was forcing passes in there to give these guys chances, and they wasn't getting in the end zone. This is one of the throws that he forced.
Hey, run that shit up, Chase.
No, he scrambled on that one. This is one of the ones that he forced. I think this is Taylor. Yeah, here we go. That's a touchdown. I think that was the one touchdown I was talking about. That's the one that he forced. Good defense. I don't know who it was, though. But you saw like the deflection at the top of the screen. And I think this may be it in terms of, if this is the end of the red zone stuff, then we can go ahead and end it there. All right, here we go. Goal line situation. You're going to see Casey Tuhill. When I talked about he got in clean, he made a good play at the goal line. You'll see the Antonio Gibson fumble probably, or the bobble. That's the Casey Tuhill play. Let me go ahead and run it back for you all. Yes, sir. Pro Tech up in this thing. Hey, how many of y'all? We got a few more people in here. How many of y'all going to FedEx Field today? How many of y'all going to FedEx Field? So you saw Casey Tuhill make a play. He made 2 plays actually. I think he had the scoop and score 2 on the fumble. Well, would have been a scoop and score. Defense wins again at the point of attack. He don't get into the end zone. Stop short. You see your boy Chris Harris. Let me go ahead and run that back. Hey, they don't be playing when they talk about Chris Harris be live, bro. Look at this man all the way in the back, bro. Geeking. That man geeking, bro. Hey, he geeking. Nah, man. I ain't gonna be there, dog. I was talking about that earlier. I had to give away my tickets. I got a going away party for one of these guys. Again, another throwaway. Defense was strapping, bro, in the red zone. They were on it. This is one of the goal line. This is all about man on man, bro. We trying to take your manhood, bro. We want to win. Like this is where it's as competitive as it gets, bro. You talking about 2 yards, 3 yards? Can you get in the end zone? Defense strapping. Defense is strapping. Boop, fumble. There you go. Scoop and score. You should see the ball pop. Yeah, the ball popped out right there. Running the other way. There it go. Hey, so I'm gonna stop right there because I know I want to make sure I give Real as much credit as he can. Make sure y'all go ahead and tap into his vlog so you can see the rest of that. Yeah, sure enough, he fumbled in practice. He fumbled twice. He had 2 fumbles and he had 1 drop. He had a drop pass as well. So it was a lot going on for Antonio Gibson, unfortunately. That's kind of how his day went. But for us, I got to get ready for a podcast. I got some big things coming up too, by the way. I'll announce those when the time is right. But just letting you all know, I don't think there's gonna be any changes on our side. Thinking. Let me figure out some things. It's gonna be this upcoming week. I guess I'll just announce it when the time is right. But I don't think there's gonna be no changes to the channel per se. But yeah, that's kind of where this thing is going. Here comes Brian Robinson starting soon. Yes, sir. I think the missing tight end's hurt. Yeah, bro. Cole got hurt yesterday. Samus Reyes got hurt yesterday. Now you're down to Curtis Hodges or Monty Rogers. And maybe even heavy personnel with like an extra blocking offensive lineman to take place for that tight end. But yeah, man, hey, y'all enjoy FedEx Field. Listen, I'm back Monday. I just want to do a Saturday stream, given the fact that, I was there Friday. And maybe like there'll be some impromptu next day streams, because if I want to go back, I can just make the move. It's no big deal. But if I find time to go back, maybe on an off day versus taking leave, maybe on an off day I'll go and maybe even stream just later that day versus like the next day. Depends. Once I get my notes together and shit like that. But yeah, I'm out. Yeah, hey, look, y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Appreciate y'all tapping in, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't think nobody was gonna be in this junk, because look, Saturday morning, I ain't know people get up as early as me. I'm up all the time, bro. I'm up early all the time, bro. But look, with that being said, if y'all at FedEx, enjoy yourselves. Make sure y'all turn up. If y'all drinking, take a shot for your boy. I'm gonna be at the little going away party getting lit. So yeah, man, y'all enjoy y'all day. Y'all be safe, bro. Y'all be safe, man. Yeah, y'all be safe. Hey, already, man. Hey, first off, Tech, let's get that Q&A thing going, get situated, bro. I'm here when you need me, bro. I'm here when you need me. But yeah, we out of here.